heart of downtown Ottawa stands a building that looks like any other relic of the past. But those who've dared to enter swear the past never truly left. Welcome to the Saintlo Ottawa Jail, one of Canada's most haunted places. Built in 1862, the Carleton County Jail was meant to be a model of justice, but it soon became a monument of misery. Imagine being trapped in cells barely larger than closets. Men, women, and even children were all locked together in darkness, facing unimaginable conditions. The air was thick with despair, a feeling that some say soaked into the very stones of the building. In the courtyard, a single wooden scaffold once stood, the gallows. Here, prisoners met their fate beneath the noose. Among them was Patrick J. Whelan, convicted of assassinating the prominent politician Thomas D'Arcy McGee. To his very last breath, Whelan swore his innocence. Locals say his spirit never left, forever wandering the grounds, still proclaiming his innocence from beyond the grave. By the 1970s, the prison's reputation for cruelty and suffering had become unbearable. Officially declared inhumane, its doors were finally shut. But what was once a place of punishment would soon become a place of curiosity. Today, the Carleton County Jail lives again as the Saintlo Ottawa Jail Hostel. Brave travelers from around the world come here, seeking a unique place to stay. But not every guest gets a good night's sleep. Many report the sound of disembodied footsteps echoing down the halls, hushed whispers in empty rooms, and the chilling sensation of unseen hands touching their shoulders in the dead of night. The hostel offers nightly ghost tours, leading groups with nothing but flashlights through the same corridors that once led men to their deaths. Every scratch on the wall tells a story, a desperate cry not to be forgotten. But perhaps the most chilling part is that some say the walls still answer back. So, if you ever find yourself visiting Ottawa and crave something beyond the ordinary, something that will send a shiver down your spine, spend a night at the Saintlo Ottawa Jail. Because some stories never die, they just keep whispering in the dark. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more chilling tales. Let me know in the comments if you'd be brave enough to stay a night in the heart of the prison courtyard, where the wind now whispers through crumbling stone. A single wooden scaffold once stood, the gallows, a place of finality. Here, prisoners condemned to die met their fate beneath the shadow of the noose, their last moments witnessed only by cold walls and an unforgiving sky. Among the many souls who took their final steps on that platform was a name etched into history: Patrick J. Whelan, accused and convicted of the shocking assassination of Thomas D'Arcy McGee, a father of Confederation. Whelan's trial was a sensation. Despite the overwhelming evidence stacked against him, he swore his innocence right up until the very end. His final words, spoken from the gallows, were a defiant plea, claiming he was a scapegoat, not an assassin. But did his story truly end there? Locals and guards who have walked these grounds after dark tell a different tale. They say his spirit, bound by an injustice he felt in life, never left the confines of this jail. Many have reported seeing a dark, fleeting silhouette behind the bars of his old cell, a ghostly figure in 19th century attire that appears for a moment and then flickers away into the shadows. Others have heard disembodied whispers echoing through the empty corridors, a faint voice still proclaiming his innocence from beyond the grave. Is it just the wind playing tricks? Or is the restless ghost of Patrick Whelan still searching for the justice he never received? Hello, thrill seekers and history buffs. Today, we're not just visiting a historic site. We're stepping into a place where the past refuses to stay buried. Our journey takes us to Ottawa, Canada, to a building with a dark and chilling history. The former Carleton County Jail, now known as the Saintlo Ottawa Jail Hostel. What makes this place so special? Well, for over a century, it was a maximum security prison, a place of last resort for some of Canada's most notorious criminals. But it was also the site of the country's last public hanging. The very ground we're standing on has witnessed immense suffering and despair. Imagine this place, once filled with the echoes of rattling chains and desperate pleas, now welcomes travelers from around the world. But some say that the original residents never truly left. Tonight, we're going to find out why this isn't just a hostel, but is widely considered one of the most haunted buildings in all of Canada. So, turn down the lights, Get comfortable, and join me as we unlock the secrets of the Ottawa Jail. The moment you step inside, the atmosphere changes. The air grows heavy, and a chill seems to cling to the stone walls, a cold that has nothing to do with the Canadian weather. The hostel still preserves many of the original features of the prison. The narrow hallways, the iron doors, the tiny, oppressive cells where inmates spent their last days. You can literally sleep in a converted cell, an experience that is both fascinating and deeply unsettling. But it's after dark that the jail's true character emerges. The hostel offers nightly tours through the very same corridors that once led men to their deaths. As we join one of these tours, the friendly chatter of our group quickly fades into a nervous silence. The only light comes from our flashlights, their beams cutting through the thick, oppressive darkness. Every shadow seems to dance. Every creak of the floorboard sounds like a footstep just behind you. Your mind starts to play tricks on you, or at least, that's what you tell yourself. The tour guide leads us deeper, sharing stories of the inmates, the guards, and the grim realities of life within these walls. The tales are captivating, but it's the unspoken stories, the ones you feel rather than hear, that truly get under your skin. We're now standing on what was once death row. The cells here are even smaller, more claustrophobic. This was the final stop for condemned prisoners. The most infamous inmate was Patrick J. Whelan, who was convicted, some say wrongly, of assassinating politician Thomas D'Arcy McGee. In 1869, Whelan took his final walk from his cell, right here, to the gallows just outside. Thousands gathered to watch his public execution. It's said that his spirit never left, forever protesting his innocence from beyond the grave. Many guests who have stayed in the cells on this floor report terrifying experiences. They speak of the overwhelming feeling of being watched by an unseen presence, the sound of phantom footsteps pacing outside their doors, and blood-curdling screams that seem to come from nowhere. Some have even reported seeing the full-bayed apparition of a man, believed to be Whelan himself, standing at the foot of their bed, his eyes filled with sorrow and anger. The staff will tell you, with a nervous laugh, that they're used to it. But for a first-time visitor, the feeling that you are not alone in your cell is something you'll never forget. As our flashlights scan the cold stone, they reveal a history written, not in books, but scratched into the very fabric of the building. We're in a solitary confinement cell, a place of unimaginable psychological torment. And right here, etched into the wall, is a desperate message. A single phrase, "Help me." The letters are crude, frantic, carved by someone at the absolute edge of their sanity. Every mark on the wall tells a story, a desperate cry not to be forgotten. You can almost feel the desperation, the hopelessness of the person who etched it there, trapped in eternal darkness. It's a stark reminder that these weren't just stories. They were real people who lived and suffered within these confines. And as we stand here in silence, contemplating this cry from the past, a faint sound drifts down the corridor. It's almost imperceptible at first, like the wind. But then it grows. Clairo-distant, mournful wail, a ghostly scream echoing through the halls. The guide stops talking. We all freeze, our hearts pounding in our chests. But perhaps the most chilling part is that the walls still answer. The tour concludes, and we're left to process what we've just experienced. Was it our imaginations running wild in a spooky old building? Or did we truly connect with something from the other side? As we look out of the old jail, glowing eerily under the full moon, it's hard to deny the energy that pulsates from it. The mist rising from the ground almost looks like spirits ascending into the night sky. So if you ever visit Ottawa, and you crave something beyond the ordinary, something that will challenge your beliefs and stay with you long after you've checked out, then spend a night at the Saintlo Ottawa Jail. It's more than just a place to sleep. It's an invitation to step into history and confront the echoes of the past. Because some stories never die, they just keep whispering in the dark. Thank you so much for joining me on this chilling adventure. If you enjoyed this journey into the unknown, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration. Until next time, stay curious.